Hey, listeners. Welcome back to the Review for Few podcast. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Okay, you're thinking two things. Where was last week's episode? And why are you dropping this on a Friday? Episodes drop on a Thursday. And let me answer both of them questions before I divulge into what else. I didn't drop an episode last week because I was just like not in the mood. And when I tell you about last week, you're going to be like, okay, I guess that's why, like, whatever. And then I didn't drop an episode on Thursday because this week's episode was supposed to be on Agatha All Along that recently dropped on Disney Plus, and it happened to drop Wednesday. The downside was that it dropped Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and I really didn't feel like watching it just to have to record at 11 o'clock and then I just did not want to be up late, so I watched it Thursday and I'm recording Thursday because it just seemed I wasn't just not trying to like just mush it all up, you know what I mean? I just wasn't trying to do all of that. But not much was going on last week in TV also, so I mean at least I was nice enough to not wait a whole nother week till a whole nother episode come out to talk about Agatha, you know what I mean? But that's nor here nor there. But I will say that ever since I like discovered the fact that I do in fact have a podcast, like open the encyclopedia that is Diavion. Because man, when I tell you, I be going through stuff during my week and it's like I'm putting it on the podcast. Like I don't care. Like I'm putting it on the podcast. I have not really been on social media like that. And I think I think a lot of things about myself. Not saying like I think highly of myself. I do think highly of myself, but I definitely think I just have my moments. You know what I mean? I'm a girl. I'm Diavion. Hi, how are you? I have my moments, and I'm human. And people have moments where they just want to be left the hell alone. And sometimes it's like that for me. And I definitely think last week was one of those weeks, but a lot of factors contributed to that because you know your girl legally blind, so it's like my eyes was like open eyes, I could see what's in front of me, and I realized like what was in front of me, and I was just like, oh no, close the gates, get out. Nobody in my castle, nobody's allowed here. We're just I'm just Fiona before Shrek ever showed up, you know what I mean? Just things like that. But anyways, this past week, I took it upon myself to, just not talk to my friends, more specifically the female ones. But sometimes I do feel like my friends are like connected together, so you kind of have to ignore them all. It's kind of like Pokemon, pick them all or choose them all, whatever they say. I don't know. It's just things like that. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, girls, they're just drama. But that's like not the case here. I'm not a dramatic person. I don't live for the drama unless it's on like TV. Because, I did grow up on Love Hip Hop. So, a little part of me just likes a little bit of drama and messiness. But, anyways, um, whatever. Since like always, excuse me, I had to burp. I don't know if that was a burp. Whatever. No, I do have to. Hold on. Whatever. Since always, I've had like a good selection of friends. You know what I mean? What's a burp? I don't pick them, and they don't necessarily pick me. It's just a moth to a flame, and guess who's the flame? But I made a promise to myself many eons ago that like no one, and I mean no one, would ever break my heart again. My heart has probably been shattered probably like twice in my 23 years. I know, tragic. Like one was romantic, and I do not hate all men. You know what I mean? I just hate specific ones that are culture affiliated with certain cultures, just things like that. But that's not me, whatever. That's not the point. One was romantic, and another, you guessed it, was friendship, the whole point of this conversation. So I took it upon myself to keep my friends at a distance to avoid that feeling because I sense something, y'all. And let me tell you something. When I sense something, it's like, it just seems a little fishy. Like, I don't know. It just seems a little bit off. Like, I have to trust my gut. I have to trust my gut because every time I have not trusted my gut when something felt off, it always comes back to slap me in the face. So I felt like I needed to distance myself from my friends. Like I felt like I truly needed to, you know, put some distance. I did not distance myself from every single friend that I have. That's nor here nor there. I did not do that. I distanced myself from a group of them because, like I said, my friends are like interconnected. But this one, like we are a group, so I had to like distance myself from that. You know what I mean? You know, I'll still be there for them. Like if they were to ever have a crisis or anything like that, I would definitely still be there for them. My heart may not be big, but I can spread it wide. You know, and I will still be there for them in the future, just probably not as much as I used to, because you know I would do everything in my power to protect my heart and protect my peace. And my peace is everything. And I don't know if I've ever said on the podcast, but the three things I wish for in life is peace, love, and happiness. Heavy on the peace because I feel like if you have peace, then you technically already have happiness to a certain degree. It just depends on whatever makes you happy. And then love comes in all shapes and forms. And so I'm obviously like the love of my family, my friends, and my significant other is what I desire in life, you know? So it's just those three things. You know? Now you're probably thinking, but like why would you do such a thing? Like did they do something? What was the sign? What were the signs? You know? And like my answer is the answer that many people would say is the answer to a lot of things in their life. Trauma. Drama. um Trauma, not drama, if you know people love to correct my literacy or whatever. Of course, I wouldn't want my heart broken by another guy, but something about heartbreak and friendships just hits a little differently. I've cut off people from being my friends just straight because it's just like you. So, sometimes you can't physically put your hands on people. You know what I mean? I'm not a confrontational person when it comes to like verbal stuff. Like I'm not gonna sit here and talk hours with you. Like no, if you're not in my face, then I'm just gonna ignore you. I don't have to respond to your text calls, nothing like that. Blocked on all accounts. But if you're in my like physical space, like I want you to know like it's taken a lot of me to not just want to leap across this couch because like I said I did grow up on loving hip hop, so you gotta admit that had some type of influence on me as a young girl. A lot of the shows that I would watch as a young girl, and then just normal life, and then just depending on the type of situation you know that you're in. Of course I did not block any of my friends. My phone was just on D&D. I did take it upon myself to like turn off my location, but my location wasn't even turned off for that long, so we're not even gonna exaggerate about that. The point is, I don't know what the point is. I don't know what the point is. You know, heartbreaking friendship. You know, it could sting a little bit, and just heartbreak in general, and just people just ruining your peace. So you know, I rebuke you. Like it's not for me. Like we not for to do that. However, I will say I've had like maybe 4 friends in my lifetime that had a really huge impact on me and coincidentally happen to still be in my life and who I still consider. Um, I still consider. Um, yeah, I'm like really like blanking on life. I do consider them friends. I don't know why my mind is playing tricks on me. However, the first of the batch, she's like a forever friend. You know, she's not going anywhere. We're 10,000 miles apart, and like my love for her has never changed. But the difference between her and everybody else in this batch is that I've known her since I was, you know, a kid. I knew her before puberty, during puberty, and after puberty. And you know she's my, I love her, you know. I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to play like favoritism. People think like, oh my god, you have favorites and all that good stuff, you know. But she was always there through the ups and downs of my silly childhood and so forth, and just the memories we shared together. And even sometimes when we talk to each other, we're like we have to make plans to like see each other again because like she definitely played like a huge role in my childhood and my adolescence, um, from the age of like 11 to now. You know what I mean? So that's just a lot. a decade's literally worth of friendship and memories and stuff, and all these things that we hold true to each other. And I feel like what makes our friendship so much more genuine is that we're not reminiscing on high school. High school. We're not reminiscing on what happened after the fact or anything like that. Like, we're just talking about our day-to-day life. Like, it's like, oh, okay, you doing good, I'm doing good, we doing better than the other girls, you know what I mean? Like, things like that. Yeah, so that's the first one. The second one does not hold the same value that they once had, but they're still on the roster. They're still on the roster. Them not holding that same value is not my fault. I take no fault for any of it. I do not take fault for the inevitable downfall of it. Should it happen, I'm not, wishing it happens, but like, if it was to ever crumble, I don't think it would be my fault. And I said what I said. The third, she's like my guardian angel. It's like when I feel like I'm like doing too much or I'm up there and it's a lot, if I recognize that in myself, she brings me back down. Like, she brings me this little peace and calm and tranquility, and just has something about her. I feel like whenever, like, before we were friends, when people would like talk smack about her, I'm just like, nah, like, she seems like a good person. Like, honestly, but like, I just kept my distance because, like, we ain't gossiping, y'all. I just kept my distance for reasons, but eventually we found each other, like every loving friendship. And the last, they're not like any other friend I ever had. I'm not a vulnerable person, but if I had to be vulnerable and tell them how much I appreciate our friendship and so forth, I would say something like, at first glance, we should have been friends the moment we saw each other, as we're so similar yet so creatively different and magnificent. It truly is a masterpiece. You're like the sister I wish I had growing up, and I wish we knew each other sooner, because then we would have like thousands more memories together and like a gajillion million billion more to go. Even though I do in fact have a sister, the friendship we have is so much more than a friendship, because I do treat you as my sister. I feel like you're my blood. Like, I literally feel like you're my family, which is so weird because she's never technically met my family. And I never got to experience like the bitter arguments and just that sisterly relationship, because me and my sister are so far apart in age, and I realistically grew up more so around my brothers. I guess. Something about you is so rare, and I'm glad to not only call you my friend, but my sister, you know? If I was, in fact, a vulnerable person, I would say something like that. However, I am not, so I guess, we'll never know, because, I didn't say that to anyone, so let's get on with the show. So, Agatha All Along, I have been waiting for this masterpiece ever since I heard that this is where Marvel was going next. I feel like Marvel has been on like a kind of like a downfall. I don't watch as many Marvel shows and movies. I should say more movies, because I don't like Marvel shows, but I don't watch as much Marvel as I used to. I feel like I said it before in the iconic DC versus Marvel episode from like 2 years ago, that I more so like DC shows, like the live action DC shows, and I like DC's animated movies with the cursing and the blood and the gore and and Marvel does a phenomenal job at movies, but when it comes to like their TV shows, not so much. Not so much. Excuse me. But then you had, when WandaVision came out, it kind of took a different turn. But WandaVision, yes, it was a TV show, but Marvel Studios did it, not Marvel's the Marvel's film side of the studio did it, not the Marvel's TV side did it. So it was still like a full-blown movie production almost. And I did not watch like Loki and all the other Marvel TV shows they have, like the Captain America and Hawkeye, man, whatever, Winter Soldier, stuff like that. I didn't watch that, but it's just the level of creativity that Marvel gets at. And I definitely feel like Catherine Hahn as Agatha, she's just like, well, one, when she appeared in WandaVision, I was like, she's like a comedian. Like, you see her in like a lot of funny roles. At least I have. So to see her in something like more serious, it's like nice. But she had like this kookiness about her that I really liked. And I was just like, how could you not like want to like be more developed by this? And in the show, the 2 episodes that have premiered, because 2 episodes dropped, they dropped every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. How I would kill to be on the Pacific Coast. I honestly, this is like totally like off topic, but seeing like the like when you log into Disney and seeing like the 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern just remind me of like on Disney Channel when your show's gonna be like it was like something they'll show like Central Time and the Eastern Time, and it's just like nostalgic. Like I just Disney never stop. Because most shows don't do that. They just like, it's premiering here now, and they'll just put it in one time. And it's like, no, I need the 6/9 p.m. Eastern time. Like I need that. Like it's just so I like it. I don't care. I like it. But Agatha All Along, I like it so far. I'm kind of so Aubrey Plaza is also in Agatha All Along, and I wonder if she's actually gonna come back. So she is in the first 2 episodes, but it's like, is she actually like a serious regular? Like, is she actually going to be there? And without giving too much away, there's like a kid. I am intrigued to know much more about him. The trailer and all the teasers and promos for Agatha made it seem very scary. I feel like it would have been more pivotal if they had launched it within the first week of October, which is literally in 2 weeks. But here nor there, as much as I'm not a Halloween girl, like you gotta admit, like if you they dropped this on September 18th. They could have waited 2 additional weeks for October to drop it, like BFFR. Anyway, you know, like what? Because that would have been like October like 1st. Yeah, it'd have been October 1st. That's like the perfect promo to kick off like in October, kick off October and kick off the Halloween month and all that spooky, spectacular stuff. But anyways, yeah, I'm really intrigued to know more about him because he's quite the character, and I do. Like a mini spoiler, when Agatha finally, gets back to being Agatha and not Agnes, um, the evolution that she goes through is just, it was like, oh my god, I feel like we're in WandaVision all over again. And I feel like she jumped right back into those characters from all the different sitcoms that they paid homage to. It was like really cool, and the whole scenario and everything like that. Um, I think a lot of people could resonate with the fact, because they were already saying it before the show dropped, how just knowing that Wanda is really gone is really like, oh, really? Really? Like, you can't bring her back? Like, please. But I will say, because it is Marvel, you never know what they have up their sleeves. I don't read the comic books, so maybe like y'all will know something better, or maybe like a portion of y'all will know something more than I do. But I feel like you never know in Marvel. What if they just decide like, she's so popular, let's bring her back? Technically, freaking Robert Downey Jr. is coming back. He's just not coming back as Iron Man. He's gonna be somebody else. Like, you never know what other projects. There are so many other superheroes out there when it comes to Marvel and DC collectively, where they could like be doing different, superheroes. Sometimes it's not always about Captain America and Iron Man and Spider-Man. Spider-Man has had so many reboots and has just been going on and on and on and on with all this stuff. It's literally, I compare Spider-Man Spider-Man is Marvel, Flash is DC. I feel like they're on the same level, because the amount of times you see some new Flash this, new Flash that, well, Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. Like, they're just always so quick to just like reboot stuff, and it's like, why can't we just like just creatively do something different? When Marvel had their Netflix shows, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, The Punisher, that was something. Like, they need to bring that energy back, like that stuff, because you don't see those characters that often. I'm not saying that every character needs a TV show or needs a movie, but there are just so many other ways to go about it. However, I do not want a flipping cartoon. Okay? Marvel, I do not want a flipping cartoon. I do not want a cartoon rated TV Y7. I do not care about that. I do not want a flipping flapping cartoon. We need something real. And I think what disappoints me the most about Marvel is that, like, I used to just be like a Marvel fan. Like, when movies came out, like, I was there. Of course, because I am a black woman, I saw, Black Panther in theater, and I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know what I mean? And the same thing for Wakanda Forever. You know what I mean? It's just things like that, and I just feel like they could do so much more. And I feel like they're starting to listen to the fans, because the fact that they're giving Agatha her own TV show, her own miniseries, however, whatever they plan on doing, whether it's the miniseries, limited series, all these other words they have for series. I just feel like the fact that they're showcasing Agatha a little more beyond WandaVision says a lot. And I feel like they kind of really didn't have to. They could have just left her, let her be like, hiya, hun. Keep her in that fantasy world forever. But the fact that they're like, let's do more with this. Like, audience perceive this really well. Like, let's do more with this. And I think it's because of the way the minds behind WandaVision and how WandaVision was constructed and everything that went into it, which eventually led to Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness, and now here we are with Agatha, is quite something. I am curious to see if, or not if, but what possible surprise would be at the end of Agatha once the show, completes its rounds and everything like that of episodes. Like, what would be at the end of it, because I'll be really intrigued. Marvel making a comeback. Who knows? I might just go see. I don't remember the character that Robert Downey Jr. is supposed to be playing, but who knows? I just might go see it. You never know. Since obviously, like, we're doing something different. That's nice. That's cheerio. It's all dandy and whatnot. So I'm really excited. And then Kitty from the 70s show and the 90s show, her being back in with Agatha is just really nice. Like, ha ha ha. I just love it. I've watched that 90s show. I watched that 70s show back when I was a kid. I liked it. I found it funny. And I've been watching That's 90s show, and I really, really like it. It's kind of like, what's that show? Boy Meets Girl, Boy Meets World, that whatever show that was called, and then they try to like reboot it on Disney, and it completely flippity flopped on its tush because it was just garbage. And like, I say garbage being so hypocritical because, one, I never even saw the original, but I like saw like itsy bitsy pieces of the new one, and it's just like, Disney. At this point, let's just retire Disney Channel, because you're not even doing anything worthwhile. Raven's Home is not even the same as it used to be. You know what I mean? It's like stuff like that. But who knows? I don't watch Disney Channel. I'm on Disney Plus. There's a difference, I could still go back and watch all the good stuff. I could watch Raven's Home when it was Raven's Home, and it had Raven and Chelsea like it was supposed to be in the beginning, things like that. But maybe because like Disney x Marvel collab, like they're all one big chunk of bunka, I'll see something different. I definitely hope to see more projects from Marvel. Agatha All Along, the first 2 episodes, so far, really intriguing, darling. And I can't wait to see next week's episode and what happens. That'll be quite interesting. But before I wrap up today's show, I just want to say a last bit of things, One, I want to make it clear that I am not a vulnerable person. I hate people that cry. Like, just not for me. I'm not cruel in any way, which, see, in my mind, I was like, I'm going to save this for next week's episode, but I don't think there's going to be an episode next week. But I'll probably talk about it when I get back, because I'm intrigued and I definitely want to share it with you guys, but that's nor here nor there. But Yeah, people who cry gives me the ick. Like, I just don't do feelings and emotions and stuff like that. And the mature thing is just to talk, to communicate. But nowhere does it state that I'm mature. Just because I'm 23, allowed to vote, drink, and do all these awesome, cool things, does not mean that I'm mature. You know what I mean? Um, the friends that I described in the beginning, and I say describe because I did not say names, I did not name names. I do not necessarily value them more than my other friends or anything like that. They are not on this high horse or whatever and everything like that. But like I do obviously like subconsciously and now like consciously have friends on higher levels and friends that I know I could go to about X, Y, and Z that I probably wouldn't go to. You know, I probably would go to Samantha for this, but I'm not going to go talk to Timmy. You know, I'm not going to go do that. Like things like that. I do not have friends named Timothy or Samantha. Okay, let's just put that out there too because we not. Anyways, yeah, things like that. I don't want, if any of them are listening to them, I don't want you to be like, oh, so she don't think we're not friends anymore. Now, baby cakes, if you feel some type of way because of the words that I'm saying, that's how you feel. I'm just putting out how I feel. I know I said I don't do feelings and emotions, but if I'm going to express how I feel and you're going to take that and interpret it as something I was not trying to interpret it, that is all on you, honey. Now you're projecting something that was never even there. You know, I do have a favorite friend, but that's nor here nor there. And that favorite friend is honestly in question at this rate because who knows what's going to happen. But, yeah, I mean, like, people have favorite kids. Like, I know for a fact my mom has a favorite kid. You know, I've been asking her for years who's her favorite kid. She does not need to tell me. I know who her favorite kid is. And she be like, I got one of both. Nah, sweetheart, that's not how it works. Just because you have a son and a daughter don't mean that, like, oh my God, like, I have the best of both worlds. No. One get on your nerves less. One gets on your nerves less. And if not one, then all of them get on your nerves. None of them your favorite. It's not like you're both my favorite. No, you can't have two favorites. It's like people be like, well, my favorite food is, no. That's not how it goes. Ugh. Anyways, I say like next week. Next week we probably won't have an episode next week. Next week Wednesday, September 25th is the day of my surgery, so I probably won't drop an episode, guys. And I probably won't drop an episode the week after that because I'll still be recovering. So who knows? I'll be out of work for like the next 2 weeks almost. So I don't know when I'm going to drop another episode. Yeah, because I started classes back up and I feel like it's going to be a lot to like obviously look at a computer and do schoolwork and then obviously just, you know, had eye surgery on not one but both of them babies and, you know, it'll be a lot to watch a show. Because then what am I? I'm just Helen Keller. Well, Helen Keller was deaf and blind. But I'm hella Keller. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, I can't see, but I can hear. But it's like, I want to do both. Like, hold up. I can't do that because I got to read my captions. I'm the type of person that got my captions on the TV. You know what I mean? It's just that. It's just, you know, whatever. But anyways, on this whole friendship thing, this is the last piece. I just want to say I am not cruel. You know what I mean? Everybody has a role to play. So it's your best bet to play your role correctly. You know what I mean? Plus, I never spoke on the one that guides me that much. And I bet she would have a lot to say about this episode. But I guess you guys will have to wait till like mid-October, end of October. You might not get an episode all of October anyways, because October is all about Halloween. This might just be the perfect sabbatical now that I'm thinking about it, because I don't do Halloween. I ain't watching no scary movie. I did watch Deliverance or whatever the movie was, the little, I guess I'm not wrapping up the episode. The little, what's his name? Lee Daniels with Monique and Andrea Day. I did watch it, and, Glenn, her name is Corella, and I did watch it. It was not that scary, but my Lord, my God, sweet baby Jesus, it was just a lot to process. It wasn't scary, but it definitely jolted me a little bit, and I was just like, you know what, you know, not everything for everybody, but that's nor here nor there. Anyways, as always, thank you guys for listening. Make sure you like, subscribe, send a comment, say hi. I'll say hi back down below. And I'll see you guys in like 2 to 3 weeks. Until next time, happy listening.